Hello everyone, and welcome to the Service and Hospitality Safety Association's Youth Safety Webinar. My name is Lisa Chavity and I'm a safety advisor at the SHSA. Today we are on location at the Travelodge Hotel here in Saskatoon. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. If you do have any questions throughout the broadcast, please type them into the questions box. If we don't get to you throughout the broadcast, we will email you afterwards. As well, if you are sitting with more than one person at your computer, please type all of your names into the question box just so we can get an accurate read of how many people are watching. And one last reminder, this video will be available on our YouTube channel following the broadcast. We have an information-packed webinar for you today, so let's get started. Young workers are classified as workers from age 15 to 25. In Saskatchewan, the minimum age of employment is 16. If you are 14 or 15 years old, to be able to work, you must complete the Young Worker Readiness Certificate course, and you can find that course here. And a reminder to parents, you can take this course too, so you have all the information as well. If you are 14 or 15 and have completed the Young Worker Readiness Certificate course, you must also be aware of the following employment standard restrictions. You must have consent from your parent or guardian to work. You cannot work after 10 p.m. before a school day or the morning of a school day, and you cannot work more than 16 hours during a school week. Now I'd like to share some information that is specific to the service and hospitality industry. I'll highlight a few of these key pieces of information for you now. The leading causes of injury in workers 25 and under are cuts, burns, sprains, and strains. And youth aged 15 to 24 are 3 times more likely to be injured on the job than any other worker. So why are young workers at a higher risk of injury? We'll go over some of those points now. A lack of proper training and supervision, a lack of experience, uncomfortable asking questions, the wait and see approach, they perceive risk differently, maybe they're not aware of the hazards in the workplace, or if they're not aware of their rights and responsibilities as a worker. We would now like to show you a short video that was created by young workers. This shows some of the situations young workers face in the workplace.
Hello? Oh, hey man, what's up? No, I got time.
Stop. I'm seeing 2 problems here. 1, Jack wasn't watching where he was walking. And 2, our janitor friend over here forgot to put up a precautionary sign. Remember, always watch where you're walking out there. And whenever there's a potential hazard in the area, always put up a caution sign.
Hey, you. Come here. Okay, hold this right here. You want to put on some safety goggles real quick or something?
Yeah.
Alright.
Looks like things are going to be getting a lot worse for Jack. And here's another common workplace mistake. You should always wear the proper safety gear. In this case, safety glasses. However, I won't always be here to point out the problems. You must always be prepared and responsible. It was nice knowing you. Any workplace can be dangerous. You can prevent injuries by planning ahead, being alert, avoiding distractions, and using common sense. As you saw with Jack, just a simple bad decision led to him being permanently blind. Now, this is what Jack sees.
The Service and Hospitality Safety Association's Youth Safety Education Day is coming up in September, and we'd like to share some of that information with you about this important day. So just some history of the day. For the past 5 years, the Ministry of Education has proclaimed September 10th Youth Safety Education Day. The government has recognized a need to focus on educating the youth of Saskatchewan in order to drive cultural change. On a yearly basis, this day has grown to the point where this year, over 50 major organizations and partners and well over 4,000 young people will be participating. There is a Youth Safety Education Day package available, and we'll go through a few key items with you now. Just some general information, everything is located on an easy-to-use USB. You can decide what you want to use within your workplace, and there are instructions for each item within the package. Some of these include the Top 7 Dangers to Young Workers information sheet. You can print this off and post it on your safety board or hand it out to young workers during orientation. We also have an exciting interactive game that's called Are You Safer Than a Fifth Grader? This is a Jeopardy-style game that tests your safety knowledge. There are different levels that increase in difficulty. This activity can be done by not only young workers, but workers of every age, skill set, and experience level. We do also have some free posters that you can print off and post around your workplace. The Youth Safety Education Day poster is a reminder of when the day is and the importance of stop and ask. The Young Worker poster also has this message. If you are interested in partnering with us this year for Youth Safety Education Day, make sure you contact us today. Promo is available for a limited time only. You can contact us directly or visit our website for more details. Speaking of partnership opportunities, let's chat with one of our Youth Safety Education Day partners. I'd like to welcome our special guest, Carolyn Curl. Carolyn, would you mind telling us what your title is here at Airline Hotels?
Sure. I am the Regional Human Resources Manager for Saskatchewan and Manitoba.
Perfect. And as we did already mention, Airline Hotels has partnered with the SHSA this year for Youth Safety Education Day. Would you like to tell our audience why you decided to partner with us on this?
Sure. So the hospitality industry is a great place to work, and many of us get our first jobs in the hospitality industry. So for us, it was really important to partner with the SHSA because safety is obviously a concern in a hotel. There are many of us who are now leaders in the organization. This was our first job.
Right.
And I remember starting my first job, and not that this is a bad thing, but nobody talked to us about health and safety. You know, if somebody said, "What are your rights?" we would have went, "We have rights?"
Right, yeah.
I didn't know that. So it becomes really important for us to focus on, as leaders, educating the next generation.
Definitely.
And for me, and I know many of us who work in the organization have kids now that are getting their first
Yes.
jobs. And so health and safety is important because now we're talking about our own children. And my son, who just got his first job about a month ago, he came home and I was like, "So tell me about your orientation, and did they talk to you about health and safety?" And he's like, "Yeah, Mom, they did." And I said, "Did they tell you what your rights were?" And he said, "Yep, they
Oh,
did."
good.
And so, I mean, that's really positive for us. And I think the more people that partner with the SHSA in regards to this, I mean, we're going to get that message out there. And I think that's really important.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for that. So within Airline Hotels, how many different locations are partnering with us this year?
So there's 4 locations, so 2 in Saskatoon, so the Travelodge here, the Hilton Garden Inn downtown,
Okay.
the Country Inn and Suites in Saskatoon, and also the one in Regina.
Okay, so you have those 4 locations and they're all doing something to participate.
That's right.
So approximately how many young workers then do you have throughout those 4 locations?
Well, the 4 locations, I can't tell you specifically, but in Airline Hotels, we have 930 associates, and out of that 930, there's 248
Okay.
that are between the ages of 14 and 25.
Right, so that's quite a large portion of your workforce then. It does fall into this young worker category.
Absolutely.
So we had already mentioned a few of the different specific risks that young workers face, but I'd like to get your take on what those would be specifically for a hotel setting.
Right. So if we looked at a department like housekeeping, for example, we're looking at injuries that involve heavy lifting,
Right.
the contact with sharps.
Okay.
Maintenance, we would look at burns and cuts. In the kitchen, very similar. Cuts, burns. Pool, you'll be meeting Tyler a little bit later. And so slips, falls, and chemicals.
Right, yeah, so we do have to think about each different department, even though we are thinking of the hotel itself. There's all those different
Absolutely.
areas to be working in. And so at your workplace too, you can think about all the different departments that you might work in. So Carolyn, as well, with Youth Safety Education Day, what are some of the things that your different locations are doing or participating in?
So we've left it up to each of the HR managers at the property to kind of come up with ideas and fun ways to celebrate the day. that are specific to their property. But I do know that most of the hotels have created an awareness board, and so that has a lot of the information that the SHSA provided us, along with some personal stories. That hits a little close to home when you can read stories about people who have been injured at work, and kind of what has happened after that. So another thing that we're doing is in September, each hotel does what is called a town hall, and that's basically a communication with all the associates from the leaders of the organization, and they talk about things that are going on in the hotel. And the HR managers, again, are taking that opportunity to talk about youth safety.
Okay.
Because even though the focus is youth safety, these things apply to everyone in the workplace.
Right.
And then one specific initiative that I'm really excited about is our pool. And Wendy Warner, who is our pool manager, went back to her associates.
Okay.
And so there's 13 associates that work in the pool that range in the age of 17 to 25.
Okay.
And so she went back and said, what can we do to kind of celebrate Youth Safety Day?
Right.
And they said, well, let's put together a video. And so they started brainstorming, and so the video is actually going to talk about the specific risks that these young individuals face when working in a pool. So slips, falls, what about rescuing, when you have to jump into the water and rescue a young child? And what about the chemical usage? How do you handle the chemicals? What's the proper PPE? How do we dispose of these chemicals when we're done?
Right.
And they also wanted to talk about the emotional toll that dealing with situations like that and the high noise level can have in the workplace.
Definitely.
So it's pretty exciting. I think that because they came up with the initiative on their own.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. And I think also their plan is to use this going forward as a training tool for all new associates coming on board. So
That sounds really great.
Pretty neat idea.
Yeah, and rather than just, as an employer giving all of this information to the youth, you're letting them explore and learn and talk
Absolutely.
about this. So that's
Yes.
really great, for
Yeah.
sure. So going forward, what is Airline Hotels going to do in regards with youth safety in general? What are you planning to do going forward from this?
Well, I think you'll see us as a yearly sponsor for sure. This is a great partnership, and I really think that we can take the tools, even though they're designed for youth safety,
Right.
and really apply them to all our associates. Because at the end of the day, we don't want anyone getting hurt at work, and I think if we can get that message out there,
Right.
one partnership at a time, I think that's great.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much,
Oh, you're
Carolyn.
welcome.
And hopefully that let you think a little bit more about your workplace. And as you mentioned, not only the young workers, but everybody as well that would be interacting with them too. So thank you again.
You're very welcome.
Well, we have Tyler joining us here, who is a pool attendant at the Travelodge, and he's been with them for a year now. So we're just going to ask him a few questions about some youth safety within the workplace. So thank you, Tyler, first of all, for being here.
My pleasure.
So first of all, what sort of general safety training or information do you need before you start your work here?
I took my first aid and CPRC, as well as the Saskatchewan Pool Operators course. And then I also had countless on-shift trainings, that includes hands-on and with chemicals and all the dangers in the workplace, as well as I was given the opportunity to take the SHSA Safety Committee training.
Perfect, thank you. So that's a lot of good information even
Yes.
before you start, and then that site-specific once you're on the job. So Tyler, can you tell the people who are watching what your 3 worker rights are?
Of course, the 3 rights are the right to participate, the right to know, and the right to refuse.
Perfect, thank you. I'm just going to go in a little more depth about your worker rights. You have the right to know about actual or potential hazards within your workplace, and your employer is required by law to inform you of these. You have the right to participate in occupational health and safety related activities. This could be being a member of the OH&S committee, conducting hazard assessments, or inspections within your workplace. You also have the right to refuse unusually dangerous work within your workplace. So Carolyn had mentioned that the pool here at the Travelodge is doing a specific Youth Safety Education Day initiative. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course, we will be doing a safety video on all the hands-on dangers, all the workplace hazards of basically the general hotel area, as well as mainly the pool department.
Perfect. So that's something that you're doing as an initiative here, but that's something that can be shown then to everyone in the hotel
Yes.
to get that information.
It'll apply to mainly all jobs.
Perfect. Thank you. So what sort of advice or story would you like to leave for other young workers out there?
Just know everything about the hazards in the workplace and don't be afraid to ask any questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
We have another award-winning video for you that highlights the importance of stop and ask.
Hello? Can you hear me? Luke? No, he's not answering.
Can I be for you?
Wait.
One sugars and I'll stick a BP right away.
And then the line?
Yep. Heart rhythm's starting to slow down a little bit. It's not looking as regular anymore.
Yeah, he's down to 4.
Down to 4, make sure you're pulse is at 60, so I'm just gonna make sure it's...
Come on, Luke. Stay with us.
You excited for your first day, Luke?
Yeah, a little bit nervous to be honest.
That's all right. You'll learn quickly.
Hope so.
Okay, here's the shop.
Yeah, it's
all the
huge.
equipment over here.
Hey, are we gonna talk about that deck package?
Right, yeah, the one from the flyer.
Yeah, I was looking at one in here and it's perfect. Could I get a quote on that?
Sure, yeah, come on in the
All
office. Oh, Luke, grab that blue pallet off the top shelf for me, would you?
Yeah, I actually really like the Colonial. Thanks for
Hey, I need help.
Back to our first safety meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Remember we were talking about the tilt and the forks, especially when you're using this middle gear and when you're at those high elevations.
Thank you very much for joining us today, and a special thank you to Carolyn, Tyler, and everyone here at the Travelodge Hotel. If you have any further questions, you can email us at info@servicehospitality.com. You can also send emails there to find out more about our youth presentations for high schools. Thank you again, and we hope to see you at future webinars.